Good evening, YouTube. Nathan back with another video presentation. Happy New Year. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all staying safe. I'm at a loss for words. January 6th, 2020, 2021, to me is one of the darkest, is now one of the darkest days in our country. I put it there. I'm a fanatic of American history, particularly the Civil War. And I put it right there to when South Carolina was the first state to secede from the Union. I want to quote a couple things. I want to quote Barack Obama's statement he made today. History will rightly remember today's violence at the Capitol, incited, incited by a sitting president who has continued to baselessly lie about the outcome of a lawful election, as a moment of great dishonor and shame for our nation. But we are kidding ourselves if we're treated as a total surprise. I'll leave that link to his statement in the comment below. I'm going to leave also a couple links as well. What you saw today should not only anger you, should not only sadden you, but you're furious. You're saying to yourself, how did it get to this point? And I want you to understand, this was started because you have a man, I don't even know if I want to even call him that, who's selfish, ignorant, and can't get his way. Insinuate an insurrection. What you saw today was an attack on democracy. Listen, this country is not nowhere damn near perfect. We know this. But I want to point this out. This is the same guy that, in my opinion, when Colin Kaepernick took a knee to bring social justices, to make them aware of what was going on, became a political thing. If taking a knee bothers you, you need to check yourself. Because what you saw today, if that does not ruffle your feathers, if that doesn't make you cry, scream, and pray for better days, check yourself. Because again, I said this in that video that I made, I want to say it was back in June, in the midst of when Jacob Blake was shot. That was an election year. You make your voice known by voting. That's how you make the change. Your vote matters. Whether he wants to accept this or not, the people have spoken. We have seen enough. 4 years is enough. When you have other leaders of countries that see this, it's a dark day. It's a black eye. Again, this is a man who's selfish, ignorant. And look at what he's doing. Look at the fires he is starting. Look at the fact that not only what you saw today was icing on the cake. That's why I said in a 3-part series with Ice Cube, political organization matters. If candidate A can't get the job done and you're presenting this agenda, you bring that same agenda to candidate B, C, or D. This is not about you. This is different. If you listen to him, instead of worrying about election fraud, I've asked several people, can you point out examples of where there's election fraud? You can't give me an example. Can you tell me why you think he won? Can't give it to me. But if you think today was not coming, I'm going to tell you. This was bound to happen. This was a powder keg. This is like Fort Sumter. Well, I wouldn't go that far. But it's close. Listen, I'm 26. I'm an African American male. Male. But I want to point this out. Notice the distinctions of police. Now, I've said it, I believe I said it in, I can't remember what the video said. I said, we all know that there's good cops and there's bad cops. We all know this. But the use of force two displays, totally different. Now, I have friends who live in that area of DC, who live in DC, and particularly around the Capitol. We know how the Metropolitan Police is. You got some you know who they are. Particularly when it comes to around the areas of government, particularly the Capitol, the White House. I'll give you an example. There was a woman on Twitter who talked about who she brought, I believe it was her aunt, down there just to get a tour of the city. When you take a tour, especially if you haven't been there, you don't know your way around. You may walk into the wrong area. You may walk around something you're not supposed to. And they may tell you, hey, this is a restricted area, and I'm lost. Can you help me get back to where I'm at? And this police officer tore on a new one. But what you saw today, it questions. How did it even come to that? Particularly, as I said, those are your areas of government. Because if something like that occurs, reaction like that. And I'm going to leave a video in the description for y'all to see. Because there's no way in hell, if races actually, no, it did happen. If you notice, there were soldiers of the army. National Guard, standing on the steps, I want to say it was of the Capitol, armed, ready at an instant's moment to put down the protests, or excuse me, the marches. In an instant, they were ready to put a stop to it. What you saw today, batons, pepper spray, when he was at the historical church holding this, rubber bullets, tear gas, shields. I mean, you saw some of them that were shields. But you saw excessive force. That's what you saw. Today, I just want to point that out. Two distinctions of how force is used. Notice how they'll say it's a riot. For us, protests. January 6th, mark it down, man. Dark day. But I will say this. Better days are coming. And I want to point this also to the fact that you had people that were holding flags of Jesus. Can you let me know what book, what verse, what chapter in this tells you that what happened today is acceptable? That's what Jesus would do. Please tell me. I want the answer. I'm frustrated. You're frustrated. We're all frustrated. Enough's enough. 4 years of it, we've had enough. I knew something was coming down the pipe, and I hate to say it, but listen. This is where we rally together. We have to do our part. You have to understand that this is disgusting, and people are watching. You know, those that wanted to stop the count because it's as of now it's only 6 of them. Why? Don't know, but we all know for their own political gain. You know, I had so much lined up for y'all. I was pumped up to talk about this weekend's playoffs, particularly, first wild card round, NBA, all that. And tonight the Wizards played, the Magic played, the Celtics played, Lakers, Suns. I didn't want to even watch. I was in no mood to watch sports. Really, if you ask me, they shouldn't have been in any sports game on today. No one should have played. Because if today doesn't upset you in some way, shape, or form, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. But the fact I I don't like that this man that insinuated all this, instead of showing his face in front of a camera, decided to tape. Decided to tape and tell people, we love you, you're special people. What's so special about that? What was so special, particularly at the University of Virginia, when you had all of them with Lowe's and Home Depot tiki sticks on their marching on that campus? What's so special about that? What happened in Chancellorsville? What was so special about that? Today, what was so special about that? There was nothing special about it. Today marked ignorance. Cyanide Kool-Aid has been drunken. And the fact that people are too blind to see. This is not a leader of men, a leader of nation, a leader of men, a leader of a nation. He's not. And what you saw today, if you're okay with that and you approve of that, you need to check yourself. We have a lot of work to do to get this country healing. This country needs some healing. We know this. But today, I'm going to keep saying it. A dark day. It's a very dark day. You know, I'm going to close it out by saying this because I'm not going to keep y'all long. Even though last night we had an election in Georgia, there was a runoff, and congratulations to those that won. You know, you would think that they would be celebrating. But we had to witness domestic terrorism that was insinuated by a lie by, again, a man who's ignorant, who's selfish. And the fact that if you're okay with this and you think that this was not coming, but I mean that this, because the fuse was already lit. But he added another fuse, and that fuse went off too early. And it's gotten people to wake up and realize, no, we won't stand for this. Enough's enough. And for those on this platform and others that are telling people, keep your mouth shut, do this, do that, they're part of the problem as well. Because what you saw today is not logic. It's buffoonery. It's egregious. It's asinine. And it does not get a pass. Again, today was a very dark day. My condolence, the woman that died, listen, thoughts and prayers. But today was not justified. It was not. And I challenge you to evaluate yourself and understand, is this the type of person you want leading your country? That is okay with making racism over overt racism. That is politically ignorant. Every opportunity he gets, he wants to tear down the others to make himself look good. Because what you see right there, that's what a bully would do. I'm not keeping y'all, man. The other videos that y'all are going to get today, they're not being posted. Because to me, this was more important to talk about. That being said, I'm out. Peace. Have a good night.